Daniel Carter had one rule in life. No matter how hard the day was, he would always be there for his little daughter, Lily. Being a single dad wasn't easy, especially while working long hours at a busy corporate office. But every night, when Lily ran into his arms, it reminded him why he kept going. One rainy evening, after finishing late at the office, Daniel noticed something unusual in the parking lot. His boss, Victoria Hayes, the powerful CEO everyone feared, was sitting in her car, clearly drunk and struggling to even unlock the door. Most employees would have simply walked away. Victoria was known for her cold attitude and impossible standards. Helping her wasn't exactly on anyone's to-do list. But Daniel couldn't ignore someone in trouble. He gently knocked on the window. Victoria looked up, surprised and embarrassed. Without saying much, Daniel helped her out of the car and drove her safely to her apartment. The entire ride was quiet. Victoria barely spoke, staring out the window as rain slid down the glass. Daniel didn't ask questions. He just made sure she got inside safely. Before leaving, he simply said, "Get some rest, ma'am. Tomorrow is another day." The next morning, Daniel expected nothing. Maybe Victoria wouldn't even remember what happened. But when he walked into the office, the entire company felt different. People were whispering. His coworkers stared at him like something unbelievable had happened. Then his assistant rushed toward him. "Daniel, the CEO wants to see you. Right now." Daniel's heart started pounding. Because whatever Victoria remembered from last night had clearly changed everything. Daniel stood outside the CEO's office, his hand hovering over the door. His mind raced with questions. Did Victoria remember last night? Was she embarrassed? Or worse, was he about to lose his job? He took a deep breath and knocked. "Come in," Victoria's voice called calmly. Daniel stepped inside. The woman sitting behind the desk looked completely different from the one he had helped the night before. Her posture was sharp, her expression composed, and the intimidating CEO everyone feared was clearly back. But something in her eyes had changed. "Close the door, Daniel," she said. He obeyed, standing awkwardly in front of her desk. For a moment, Victoria simply studied him. Then she sighed softly. "Do you know what most people in this company did last night?" she asked. Daniel shook his head. "They walked past me," she said. "Some pretended not to see me. Others laughed." Daniel felt uncomfortable hearing that. Victoria leaned back slightly. "But you didn't." "I just did what anyone should do," Daniel replied quietly. Victoria's eyes narrowed slightly. "No. You did what a good man does." Daniel didn't know what to say. Then she asked something unexpected. "Why?" The question caught him off guard. "Why help someone who makes your life harder at work?" she continued. "You knew who I was." Daniel thought for a moment before answering honestly. "My daughter," he said. Victoria raised an eyebrow. "I'm raising her alone," Daniel explained. "And every day I try to teach her one thing, that how we treat people matters." The room fell silent. Victoria looked down at her desk for a long moment. When she finally looked back up, her voice was softer. "Daniel, what you did last night didn't just help me get home." She paused. "It reminded me of the kind of person I used to be, before this job changed me." And what she said next stunned him even more. "Starting today, I want your help fixing this company." Daniel blinked in surprise. "Fixing the company?" he repeated, unsure if he had heard her correctly. Victoria nodded slowly. "Yes." She stood up from her chair and walked toward the large glass window overlooking the city. For a moment, she seemed less like a powerful CEO and more like someone carrying a heavy weight. "When I first started this company," she said quietly, "I believed leadership meant building people up. I wanted this place to feel like a team, like a family." She turned back toward him. "But somewhere along the way, everything became about numbers, pressure, and competition. I stopped listening. I stopped caring about the people who made this company run." Daniel stayed silent, sensing this was something she had been holding inside for a long time. Last night, Victoria continued, when you helped me, you didn't expect anything in return. No promotion. No praise. Nothing. She looked directly at him. That kind of character is rare. Daniel shifted uncomfortably. I'm just doing my job. No, she said firmly. You're doing more than that. Victoria walked back to her desk and placed a folder in front of him. I want you to work directly with me. Not as an assistant, but as someone who helps me understand the employees again. Their struggles. Their ideas. Their concerns. Daniel stared at the folder, still processing everything. You're offering me a promotion? He asked carefully. Victoria shook her head slightly. I'm offering you something more important, she replied. Daniel looked up. A chance to help change the culture of this company. Before Daniel could respond, Victoria added one more sentence that completely caught him off guard. And Daniel, I already know about Lily. His eyes widened. Because he had never once mentioned his daughter to anyone at work. Daniel felt his chest tighten. How do you know about Lily? He asked carefully. Victoria didn't answer right away. Instead, she opened a drawer in her desk and pulled out a small envelope. I didn't remember everything from last night, she admitted. But I remembered enough to know I owed you the truth. She slid the envelope across the desk. Daniel opened it slowly. Inside was a photo. It showed him sitting on a small park bench, tying Lily's shoelaces while she laughed. His confusion deepened. I took that photo 2 months ago, Victoria said quietly. Daniel looked up in shock. You were there? Victoria nodded. I go to that park sometimes after work, she explained. No one recognizes me there. I can sit quietly and watch normal life. She paused. That day I saw a little girl fall while running. She started crying. Daniel immediately remembered the moment. And before anyone else reacted, Victoria continued, You ran to her, picked her up, and spent 10 minutes making her laugh again. Daniel glanced down at the photo again. I didn't know who you were, Victoria said. To me, you were just a father trying his best. Her voice softened. That moment stayed with me. She folded her hands on the desk. Then last night happened. The same man who comforted his daughter in the park was the one helping his drunk boss home without judgment. Daniel felt speechless. Victoria smiled slightly, something almost no one in the company had ever seen. That's when I realized something, she said. This company doesn't just need smarter strategies. She leaned forward. It needs people like you leading the way. But Daniel still had no idea how much this decision was about to change his life.